Hey, Patrick,
What?
I thought of something funnier than 24.
Let me hear it.
Overside. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and story. Oh man, it's been so long since I've done a story time. By the way, I don't know what I want to call this series. Is my favorite story to tell, ladies and gentlemen. I've told this story to more people than I can imagine. I love telling this story, but I've never told it in this much detail. We're gonna go through everything. This is the story of how I got started on YouTube, how I got kicked out of college, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of information that's going to come in this story. I'm super excited. So without any further ado, shout out to everyone who has already liked this video. I see y'all. Shout out to everyone who has already subscribed. If you're new, hit that slap on that subscribe button. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it. Let's get it started. Let's get it.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Woo-hoo. Open side. Come on. Come on. Come on! Yo, today is the day. I know it. I know it. Today is the day.
Okay, so I guess we should pick this story up in college, right? First day of college. I went to Southern Illinois University. I also got into UNLV, which I really wanted to go to. I really wanted to go to UNLV, but they didn't give me enough money towards my tuition off. So I went to SIU, Southern Illinois, because I was able to get the most money off and get loans. So it was the easiest for my parents or whatever to afford. So I ended up going to SIU. SIU was fun. I had a lot of fun. I wasn't there long. I was only there for a few months, but I loved it. I loved it. I loved the freedom of being able to roam around. I feel like college is something that everyone should experience. I have some friends who haven't experienced it. Most of my friends have, but I have some who haven't. And I just feel like college is something that everyone should experience. I'm actually mad that I didn't get to experience it for longer. Because college is so much fun, man. I had so much fun going to my different classes, seeing all these different people, going and getting McDonald's, the different type of lunch they had. It was just a really good time. The parties, it was awesome. It's a lot different when you go away to school than if you go to like a community college or, you know what I mean? Something where you still go home at night. Something where you have room and board there is a totally different experience. Oh man, they used to have these rugby parties on every Tuesday. I know it's a weird day to party on a Tuesday, right? Oh my gosh, they would be so lit. You would see like people at on top of the houses with like long, like, just, it was crazy. It was people outside the house. I gotta keep this PG. It was people outside the house. It was just crazy. It was a crazy time. But there was one problem. And we'll get to that problem in a second. I forgot to say one thing. I had this one friend. This dude is very important. I had this one friend. We're gonna call him Benji. That was his gamer tag on Xbox, right? And he was a good friend of mine. But whenever he would come in a party with anybody else that I know or because I knew a lot of people, they would always say he was weird. He didn't really talk that much. He kind of only talked to me. He was a very awkward dude to people he didn't know. So a lot of people sort of like made fun of him and all of that type of stuff. But I liked him. I thought he was cool. He was very smart in terms of like thinking of ideas at a young age on how to make money. Now, he never really followed through with any of these ideas, but he was always coming up with so many different ideas and ways to make money. He's very important. We'll get back to Benji in a second. Okay, now, back to the problem that I was talking about. Yeah, there was one problem. And I'm going to just be honest with you guys. The problem was that they didn't have any good weed at SIU. Now, let me talk about weed because, like I said, I want everyone watching this, all ages, to be able to understand this. I personally don't think that you should smoke weed. When I was in college as a freshman, I used to smoke weed. I haven't smoked weed in years. I don't smoke weed now. This is why. This is why I say don't smoke weed. Because I know a lot of you guys are in school and you might be dealing with peer pressures and stuff like this. This is the main reason why I say don't do it. It's not even because it's bad for your body or your lungs. I'm not going to say anything corny like that. From my experience, I can tell you that when you smoke weed, it's going to make you more lazy no matter what you do. No matter what you do. If you smoke early in the day, you'll start to get lazy later at night. And you might not get lazy right away. It might not make you tired right away, but it has an effect on your body. So if you don't smoke, in theory, you will be able to stay awake and accomplish more, and you'll be more successful. All of the most successful people that you can think of in the world, they are not sitting around smoking weed. You know what I mean? It'll just slow you down. They just can't afford to just do that. You know what I mean? So if you want to live your best possible life, then I think you shouldn't. That's just my opinion. I think you shouldn't. So anyways, at the time when I was in college, I had sort of a rough high school. We won't get into all of that right now, but I sort of had a rough high school dealing with stuff, and weed was something that I used to like calm me down. It wasn't something I really used to be cool or anything like that. It was just something that I sort of felt like I needed every day just to be able to function or whatever, right? But they didn't have any good weed at the school. So what I ended up doing was I went back home because I lived in Skokie, which is like 5 or 6 hours away from where my school is. So I could drive there, but it's not real close. So one day I ended up going home, right? And I grabbed like an ounce of weed from like one of my drug dealers out where I lived. And I brought it down to school. I had no intention of selling it or anything like that. I just grabbed a lot so I wouldn't have to keep making that trip. And I figured, okay, this will last me until like Thanksgiving or Christmas break or whatever. And then I can go back home and get some more, right? So that was the idea. Now, since I had the best weed around, my friends naturally, when I would smoke with them, they would ask me, yo, can I buy some off of you? Yo, can I buy some off of you? And one thing turned into another, and about a week later, guys. Okay, sorry, I got interrupted. There was a package I had to go sign for it. Anyways, okay, so like a week or two later, guys, all of the weed that I had bought for myself to last me months had been sold to my friends. Not even on purpose. Not even trying to. It was just all gone. Okay? And I had never sold drugs or anything like that before in my past. And this, I didn't even consider that because I was giving it to my friends. I wasn't giving it to anybody I didn't know. I wasn't doing it to make money. It's not like I really made money off of it. I was just giving it to my friends just to help them out and stuff, right? And then a week or two goes by and it's all gone. So now I'm thinking in my head like, man, everybody who's cool at college has a car. Everybody who's cool at college has a car. And I really want a car. Now, again, I had never sold any drugs before. That's not the type of person I was. Not the type of person now. Like, to me, that's just such a waste of time. But at the time, it seemed like the right thing to do in order for me to get a car. Because I'm thinking like, man, I just made this money just selling it to my friends, not even trying. What if I just sold it to like only people that I knew, and then a month or two later I can get a car? So this is what I was thinking, right? This is what I was thinking, like a month or two. And that's exactly what I did. So every day when I would smoke with my friends, I would sell to them. It's not like I was selling to everybody in school or anything like that. I never got in any trouble with it. I was only selling to people I knew. And I knew about 20 or so people that I would hang out with on different days and stuff like that. So like, yeah, a few months goes by, guys, and I had made thousands and thousands of dollars. And I hadn't spent any of it because I was trying to get a car. That's the only reason I did it, was to get a car. And after I got a car, I was going to stop That's what I told myself. That was the agreement. I just did it so I could try and get a car so I could be a little bit cooler on campus, right? Let's see here. So at the time, I was a pretty cool kid at school. I'm not going to say I was the coolest, but I was one of the cooler freshmen, right? And some of the people that I would give weed to were kind of cool. So I was a pretty cool dude. So they had this nightclub that was on Thursdays. And they had this thing, it was called Thirsty Thursdays, where all the drinks were cheap or whatever. But I'm only 18, right? So I'm not even supposed to be in the club, let alone drinking. Okay? But since I was kind of cool, I knew people who could get me past the door and into the club. And once you're in the club, because they check your ID at the door, they don't check your ID anymore when you're in there, so you can just go to the bar and get drinks. So I'm just in there having a good time. This is something I used to do all the time. It's not like I did this one time and got in trouble or anything. No, I used to do this all the time. Me and my other friends, we used to do this. Yeah, I know. Is that bad that I did that? I don't really think that's that bad. But maybe, I don't know. You shouldn't do that, though. Don't do that, kids. Don't do that. But anyways, okay. So yeah, I'm inside this club, underage, right? Just having a good time. I have these 2 drinks in my hand. One of the dudes that works in the club thought I might have looked a little underage or something. I don't know, because I really wasn't doing anything crazy. It's not like I was acting crazy or drunk or anything like that. It was pretty early. But for some reason, he came up to me and he was like, yo, let me see your ID. And I'm like, sir, I had to show my ID to get in here. Like, I'm not going to show it to you again. I just sort of tried to give him a runaround because I know I'm not 21, right? And he wasn't going for that. So he starts escorting me out of the club. As he's escorting me out of the club, there's a police officer, like a campus officer or something, that's just sort of like lingering sort of near the door. And as I walk by him, that police officer asked, hey, why is he getting escorted out? And he said, oh, because he's in here underage. So I went first of all, it's the club's fault for letting me in. Right? Why am I? They shouldn't be letting me, and then they're gonna. So that's crazy. So now I go from them letting me in to now I'm getting kicked out, which has already got me sort of pissed. And now the police sees, so now I'm getting written up by the police for being in the. So now I have to go to court and pay like $200-300 for no reason. I'm just so pissed off. That whole situation was just so unlucky. It just pissed me off, honestly. Like, I just sort of like, after they gave me the police ticket or whatever to appear in court in a few months, I just sort of like threw the ticket. I didn't really care. We're getting ready to go home for Thanksgiving break. I've been at school for a few months, had a great time, got a girlfriend who I really liked, right? Just having a great, swell college time, right? It's getting ready to be Thanksgiving break. I'm getting ready to go home. And when I go home, that's when I'm going to buy a car. And then I'm going to drive it back. I'm super happy. We're literally like 4 days away from Thanksgiving break. It's a Monday or a Tuesday. And Thanksgiving break is on like a Thursday or Friday. Like, it's literally like right here, right? I don't remember the exact days, but I remember being super close, right? Okay, so I'm smoking in my dorm with a few of my friends. It's something we used to do in all of our dorms all the time. We had a system on how we did it so we wouldn't get caught. And we never got caught. But for some reason today we got caught. For some reason we got a knock on the door. It was the campus security, not the police, campus security saying they smelled marijuana or whatever. And they're going to write our names down. Nothing super crazy. They might have probably just gave us community service. Nothing super crazy, right? But when they write my name down and they read it back, a warrant comes out for my arrest because of that drinking situation, and I didn't go to court for that. So because I didn't go to court and pay those $200-300, now they're trying to arrest me and take me down to the station and make me pay the money, and then they'll let me go. It's not like I was going to go to jail or anything like that, but they were going to take me down there until I paid, and then they were going to let me go. So because the campus security rung my name back, and then they heard that, now it goes from just a simple write-up to me getting ready to get, like, now I'm like in handcuffs, and now they're about to like escort me out of there, right? So now they have to call the police because I have a warrant. So the police come, and the police are there with the campus security, whatever. And one of the police officers said that, yeah, you're going to have to pay like $200-300 or something like that. You can go down to the station and have somebody bring it. or you can grab the money right now. And he's telling me this while I'm in handcuffs. So I can't go in and grab the money, because if I go in and grab the money, he's going to follow me because he can't leave me out of his sight by law, right? And in my room, I had all of the money in the safe, but I also had weed in the safe as well. So I didn't want to open the safe in front of him because he would see all of the weed that I had in the safe, which wasn't a whole lot of weed. It was a little over an ounce, but still, that's a lot to have in a college dorm. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to do that. So I'm thinking like, okay, what I should have done was I should have just went down to the station, and I should have one of my friends go in the safe and get the money for me and then bring it down. But that's not what I did. I thought that I could be too smooth. I thought that I could be too slick, right? And what I did was I told my roommate the combination to my safe. We waited outside the door. I was going to have him just go in the room and get the money and then bring the money out. No big deal, right? They wouldn't see anything. They're not going to go in the room. No big deal, right? No big deal, right? Woo! It's so crazy how all of this is going to lead to something else at the end. Well, okay, so let's just stay focused. Okay, so we're standing outside the room, right? Waiting on him to bring the money outside the room, right? I'm with all my other friends who were smoking them out. Because my roommate doesn't smoke, so he's not part of this. He was just in the room chilling. So he goes in the room. Bro, he doesn't bring out $300. He doesn't bring out $400. He doesn't bring out $500. This man brings out like $2,000, guys. He brought out like $2,000. And I used to iron my money too. Don't ask me why. Please don't ask me why. I don't know why. I don't know why I was doing that. I don't know why I was young. I never had the money before. I don't know. I was just trying to be cool and keep it all straight, I guess. I should have had the money in the bank. I should have had a bank account and had the money in the bank. What am I doing with all of this money in the safe to be, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just making so many bad decisions just because I'm young. I'm 18. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what I was doing, right? Okay, so he brings out $2,000 of ironed money. And the police officers are looking at each other like, yo, this looks super sketchy, right? They're looking at themselves like, this looks super sketchy. So they're like, okay, now we want to go in your room and check through your safe because we don't know what else you got in that safe. You're not even supposed to have that much money as a college student, really. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, now we want to, and I'm like, yo, I know my rights. It doesn't matter if it's my backpack, my drawers. You guys can't go through any of my stuff without a warrant. And I'm mainly saying that because I know I get the weed in the safe. That's all I had. But they were probably thinking like, oh, he might have a gun or something. Which, no, like I said, I was not that type of kid. I didn't even, you know what I mean? I've never sold drugs before. Like, I didn't have anything other than weed in that safe. But I didn't want them to find that. But they were probably thinking like he might have a gun. Or, you know, I'm black, the stereotype and all that type of thing. We won't get into all of that, right? But I'm like, yeah, I know my rights. You guys you can't go through my stuff without a warrant. They're like, okay, fine. Come down to the station. So they take me down to the station. I'm sitting in the station in this room, handcuffed, right? While they're trying to get this warrant to be able to get in my safe. So I'm freaking out like, okay, I got to get some of my friends to get my stuff out of the safe. Like, I got to get one of my friends or my girlfriend or something to get it out of the safe. So I'm like handcuffed, but I pull my phone out of my pocket, right? Pull my phone out of my pocket. And I'm like sort of texting my friends and my girlfriend like, yo, you guys got to get that stuff out of the safe. Here's the combination, blah, blah, blah. And they couldn't do it. Couldn't do it even if they wanted to. I had my girlfriend and one of her friends try and get in a fight. It didn't help. My friends were trying to scream and trying to get them come to different. They couldn't do it. There was 2 police officers. There was one that was standing outside the door and one that was standing by the safe, right? And the dude that was standing by the safe, they couldn't get him to move. They could not get that dude to move. They were trying everything. They were like, yeah, man, we can't get him to move. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. Like, now they're about to find it. The dude comes back in the room like an hour later, not even an hour, with the warrant. Fast as like, yeah, we got the warrant. So we're going to take the jackhammer to your safe, or you can give us the combination. So now I'm like, okay. Well, I don't really have a choice at this point. I pretty much, you know what I mean? I pretty much have to give him the combination. I mean, what difference is it going to make? So I give him the combination. They find the weed. And now instead of just paying my little fine and going home, now I'm on my way to jail. Which, keep in mind, I'm 18. I've never thought about going to jail before. This was the only time I've ever been to jail. I never want to go to jail again. Jail is not for me. Jail is not cool. Like, no one in jail thinks jail is cool. Like, I'm serious. Like, and I didn't even realize that I could possibly go to jail for just selling weed. I know that sounds dumb when I say it out loud. I know, at least it should sound dumb. For some of you guys, you might not know either. But yeah, you can't sell weed when you go to college, apparently. So now I'm on my way to jail. And I'm freaking the hell out. I am so scared. I'm so skinny. I'm so small and frail. I'm like, guys, I don't want to go to jail. I've heard the stories about jail. No, please, don't make me go. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, ah. No, not jail, no. Okay, so I get to jail, right? They take you inside this shower room. There's like an officer in there. They make you take off all your clothes, strip, make sure you don't have any weapons or anything on your body. Real degrading, embarrassing stuff, right? So everything about this is freaking me out, guys. Let me paint the picture as best as I can, right? So they strip me down, say I don't have anything. Okay, cool. Before they take me into the jail cell, right, I get my phone call. So I go in the room, I call my mom and dad, I tell my mom and dad everything that's happened, like, yo, mom and dad, this is the situation, like, this is what I did, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm freaking out, I'm here, I don't know what to do, right? And as I'm explaining this to my parents are like sort of looking this stuff up online and sort of trying to figure out how much jail time I could be facing. And they're relaying to me like, okay, it's looking like you're going to do like 2 or 3 years in jail. So guys, I'm free. I've never felt more hopeless before in my life. I swear to God, I've never felt that helpless before. I'm freaking out. My heart is on the ground, my jaw is on the ground, my mind is racing 1,000,000 miles a minute. I'm like, I'm only 20 years old. I'm about to go to jail for like 2 or 3 years. I didn't even know this was gonna happen. I was just trying to make some money to get a car. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, oh my gosh, no. I'm free. I'm absolutely free. Now, when I get inside of jail and I tell my cellmates who are older, more experienced what happened, they're telling me, yeah, you're not gonna go to jail. You're gonna get off and you're gonna get probation and that'll be that. But I didn't know that at the time, right? I'm 18, I don't know anything about anything. I'm just believing whatever my parents tell me. So this is what my parents were telling me. So this is all happened in this course of a day, right? So I'm freaking out. I'm losing my mind, right? So I get off the phone with them. Now I'm getting ready to go into my jail cell, right? Now I've heard the stories about jail. Like I said, I'm small, I'm skinny, all of this, right? I've heard all of those stories. Oh my gosh, it was dark too. It was so scary. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning, super dark. All of these criminals are sleeping. I didn't know who was gonna be my jailmate, like what I was gonna have to deal with. Oh my gosh, I was literally freaking out. I'm happy that I can't really remember how scared I was, but I was so scared. I know that I was so scared, right? So luckily, thank you, by the grace of God, by the love of God, thank you, God, I didn't have a cellmate. I wasn't there for long. I was only there for 2 or 3 days, but it felt like I was there for 5 months. But I didn't have a cellmate. And you spent most of the time while you were there in your cell. So I was in the cell by myself most of the time. So that was great. But yeah, the times when I went to go out and see everybody, luckily there was no fights that happened while I was there. But yeah, nobody wanted to be there. I think that's sort of a misconception about jail, or some people think it's sort of cool to. Nobody in jail wanted, none of them people, not even the toughest people, wanted to be in there. I'm seeing people that are getting ready to go to prison, because jail is just, in case you don't know, jail is just where you go before you go to court and you get your court sentence and then you go to prison for however long. So these are like the halfway. These are like, a lot of people here are either on their way to prison or they're going to get out like me. So I'm seeing people that are getting ready to go away for prison for like 20 years or something. Kids younger than me. me and stuff, just getting swole all day, just doing push-ups and pull-ups, just trying to get ready to go to federal prison. Just really scary stuff, man. The bed was all metal, super uncomfortable. Oh, it was the most uncomfortable bed in the world. Oh, I remember when I got back home and I got back on my bed. That was like one of the things I was most thankful for. But oh my gosh, the bed was so uncomfortable. The clothes, the Crocs, the food was absolutely disgusting. The whole experience was just terrible. There was one dude in there who was the toughest dude to this day I've ever seen in my life, guys. The toughest dude I've ever seen before in my life. He was like 6'5", right? He was like 6'5", light-skinned dude with dreads, right? Super swole. And he wasn't the type of dude that was going to fight you just with his hands or like this or anything, right? Guys, he was in there. He was in there practicing kickbox moves and getting his legs freaky and triple backflips and what he was doing all, and he was doing it well. It's not like he didn't know what he was. No, he knew what he was. Oh my gosh, it was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like that dude could have gave it to Conor McGregor. He might have gave it to Floyd. No, I'm kidding, but. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. I was only in there for like 2 or 3 days, right? I went in front of the judge. They gave me just probation for like a year or two. And I got out. I didn't, like I said, I didn't have to go to prison or anything like that. Thank you, Lord. And as soon as I get out of jail, I'm like, okay, now we can get back to school and get back on track. And I learned my lesson. I'm not going to do that again. Forget the car or whatever, right? I get kicked out of school right away. I get kicked out of school right away. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I wasn't expecting that to happen. But I guess I should have been. They let me appeal it, but obviously it didn't go through. So now I'm back at home, right? No more my college friends. No more that college life that I love so much, right? No more nothing. I'm back at home, miserable. My parents are freaking out. Right? It's got my parents so stressed because I'm the only kid. Like, I'm the only child. I don't have a brother or sister. So they're only child. I bet they were super happy they were able to get me into college, right? That had them feeling super accomplished. And now I'm back at home, kicked out. They're like, what is he going to do with his life? Is he going to go to school again? They're thinking I'm going to be like a complete, big, massive failure. Boy, were they wrong. Boy, I sure showed them. But anyways, yeah, they're thinking I'm going to be a super massive failure. And they're like, he's not going to do anything with his life. He's going to be a bum. Because that's usually what happens to a lot of people when they get kicked out. Because it was very stressful. I would hear my mom and dad talk bad about me to other people on the phone. It used to really hurt my feelings, just kill me. You know what I mean? And I was getting in a lot of fights. Some physical fights with my dad. It was just a real stressful time in my life. I'm being honest, like I'm being as transparent as I possibly can. So I was at home stressed out. I was going to school initially. I didn't really know why I was going to school. I used to tell people I was going to get my business degree, but I wanted to be a music producer, but I was trying to learn the business side of music. That's what I would tell people. Now that I'm like 25, it sounds kind of dumb to say out loud, but that's what I used to say. Like, oh yeah, I want to be a music producer. I'm going to school to learn the business side of the music business. But that's what I used to say. And I was one of those people, just like a lot of people, that just sort of went to college and didn't really know how it was really going to help their life, or, you know what I mean? Or they just did it because they thought it was the right thing to do. So yeah, that was sort of me. But now I'm back at home, like, all right, I can still do the music producer thing from home, but it's like, it's not really making me that much money right now. So what am I going to do to get money? Super stressed out, parents stressed out, all that, right? And that's when Benji comes into play. Like I told you, Benji was younger than me. He was a few years younger than me, but he was always just very aware with trying to think of different ways that he could make money from home, no matter what it was. Like he would just always come up with just different unique stuff. He would just sit around and think about stuff all day like this, right? So then he mentioned to me, yo, Clark, you should try doing YouTube. I think I'm going to try doing YouTube. And this was 2016. Nobody was flexing. Nobody was flexing on YouTube in 2016. That didn't come for a few years later. And now everybody knows that you can make a lot of money off of YouTube. But in 2016, nobody really knew that. That wasn't common knowledge. So I'm like, yo, why would I want to like do YouTube? Like, why would I waste my time on that? You know what I mean? And he showed me Social Blade, which is a website you can go on and it shows you how much money YouTubers are making. It gives you like an estimate, not the exact number, but it gives you an estimate, right? And I was like, oh, wow, I can make that much money from off of YouTube. I'm like, hey, I can do that. I'm hilarious, right? I already had a Twitter. I should mention, I already had a Twitter account at the time. I've been on Twitter since like 2014. I already had a Twitter account at the time that had about 80,000 followers. Just for me tweeting funny stuff. I would just say random funny stuff. People loved it. And I had 80,000 followers on Twitter. I didn't have any followers on anything else or any other social media. But I'm thinking like, yo, I already got all of these followers on Twitter from being funny. I could easily transfer over to YouTube and make some money doing that, right? So I'm trying to think of like what channel I want to do. And I wasn't thinking about it from like, yo, what channel would make me the most money? Even now to this day, I don't think about YouTube as far as like what would make me the most money. I don't like to approach life like what will make me the most money. I like to do it as what will make me the most happy. You know what I mean? That's why I'm sitting here doing this story, because it makes me feel good. I'm having a great time. I'm jumping all up and down. Where it's a ball. You know what I mean? But anyways, yeah. So I'm thinking about what I would want to do that would be fun. And I came up with playing 2K, playing basketball, video games. I had loved playing video games as a kid. I used to play Modern Warfare competitively. Should we get into that? We can get into it. Oh my gosh. I used to play Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 1, Black Ops 1. I used to play all of that competitively. It was a great time. I had so much fun. I had a GB account. I was top 500 in the world, top page team, 65-1. All of this, like competitive gaming, not like just for fun. Like, yeah, competitive gaming. For fun and for money sometimes too. And I used to have fun doing that. But for some reason, I didn't think to make a Call of Duty channel. I'm not sure why, but I thought about doing a 2K channel. So I made my 2K channel. I had that channel for about a year. I did some story times on there. That's one of the things that helped get me off the ground. I would do like little tutorial videos for basketball, 2K as well. And then I would also play the game. And in the year that I had my 2K channel, I think I made about 300,000 subscribers in a year. And guys, I was trying so hard. I was 300,000 subscribers in 2016 in a year is a lot, first of all. And I was trying. I remember I would used to sit there sometimes and edit videos for like 8 hours. I have some videos on my channel. And you can still see I don't use that channel anymore, but it's still up. Like, guys, I would edit videos for like 8. Like, I would put so much time and effort into those videos because I didn't have a choice. I was back at home with no money, with no plan B. I had to make this work. I remember sitting at home doing YouTube, trying to figure it out before I was making money. And I was telling my parents I was doing it, and they didn't really believe me. And I remember telling them I would get in fights and stuff with my mom and dad. And I remember I got in one just really bad fight. That was sort of the tipping point for me. And I remember telling my dad, like, watch this. I swear on my grandpa, who had just died recently, who was my dad's dad. I swear on grandpa that I'm going to do this YouTube stuff. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to move out of the house. And from that moment on, I was super locked in, doing it every single day, giving it my complete all, giving it everything I got until I finally made it work. And I made about 300,000 subscribers. I was making about $5,000 a month. I was doing pretty well. $5,000 a month is not bad. That's pretty good money. You know what I mean? I was having a good time. But I also felt like I was underappreciated. I also felt like I was working super hard and putting all of this effort in, and I wasn't making as much subscribers as I should. I don't know why, but I felt like I was watching people steal my story time ideas and pulling more views doing it. I was watching people steal all my, I don't know, it was sort of depressing to me because I was just putting so much effort into it and I felt like the return wasn't good enough. So it was depressing for me. It was demotivating to me, honestly, truthfully. So I'm trying to think of like what other type of channel I can do to just make a little bit more money on the side. Because $5,000 is good, but like to really move out of my parents' house and really be on my own and be comfortable, I wanted to be making at least a few more thousand. So I'm trying to think of a second channel to do at the same time, just so I can make a few more thousand, right? And I came up with this idea of doing sports reactions. Now, people were doing reactions at the time, but no one was doing a sports-only reaction channel. This was an idea that I came up with just by myself, right? Just from sitting around thinking, and it became my first $1 million idea, okay? Just from coming up with seeing, hey, people do reactions, but no one does only sports reactions. I'm going to do that. And an idea that was only supposed to make me a few $1,000s extra, guys. Only a few thousand extra ended up making me over $1 million. That's how crazy life is. That's why one of the most important things in this video is, yo, sometimes you just have to try stuff, guys. You might not know if it's going to work, but you have to just try it to see, because you never know. That idea might be crazy and it might be the best thing you ever did. And this was one of those scenarios where I didn't know if this was going to work. I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of this, and it ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made. In that same year, it took me to make 300,000 subscribers. On this reaction channel, I made over $1 million. 2017 to 2018, over $1 million in the same amount of time. And I was putting in less work. Honestly, I was editing less than I was doing on my other channel, which was just the craziest thing to me. I was trying so hard on that 2K video game channel. And then I did this and I was trying not even as hard, and I was making so much more money. Right? Now, I don't like to talk about how much money I make or anything like that, because I like to just stay humble and stuff like that. But I'll tell you this, guys. I went from only trying to make a few more $1,000s, right? Just to add on to that 5,000 or so I was making off my video game channel, to making like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times as much as I ever thought that I would. So that's really important in this video, is to just always chase after your dreams, man. And it's crazy how me getting kicked out of college led to all of this. If I had just went down to the police station, not had my friend try and sneak the money out and then get caught and then go through that whole spiral. If I would have just went down to the station, had him grab the money for me and then bring it down while the police weren't trying to, you know what I mean? If I wasn't trying to be sneaky and get the money out while the police was standing right there, right? If I would have just went down to the station, had him, you know what I mean? If I would have just did it like that, none of this would have happened. I wouldn't have got kicked out of school, and I wouldn't have ended up doing YouTube. Because if I would have continued going in school, I wouldn't have ended up doing YouTube, most likely. Now, I'm not saying drop out of school or anything like that. What I'm saying is sometimes, guys, the worst thing in your life, or something that might look like the worst thing that's ever happened to you, can really become the best thing that's ever happened to you. Seriously. Because that at the time was one of the, if not the worst thing that I've ever went through. And then it ended up being the start of all of this. And I am so thankful to God for leading me on this path. Now, I got lucky. A lot of people get kicked out of school and it doesn't go their way. But I got kicked out of school and I was blessed enough, and I worked super hard to be able to make all of this stuff come true. And that's another thing. That's why sometimes you got to just be nice to people, man. Because this dude, Benji, ended up telling me an idea that changed my whole life forever. And everybody used to be mean to this kid. Everybody thought this kid was weird. This kid was, you know what I mean? This kid was dumb. This kid doesn't know what he's doing. They would say all these nasty things about him. That kid was so smart. That kid was ahead of the curve, ahead of all of them. If they would have been cool with him like me, he would have told them that too. Who knows what might have changed with them. But because they were just so nasty to him, and it's crazy how life works sometimes. That's why, again, you got to just always give great energy. That's why I'm trying to always give as good an energy, because it's just crazy how life works sometimes. So yeah, that's really the story. I mean, we hit really all of the points I wanted to hit. This is the first story I've ever done on this channel, so if you enjoyed, please slap a like. I have a list of over 25 stories that I thought of off the top of my head that I will bring you guys. I will probably do a story every week or so, depending on how well they do, how much you guys like them and stuff like that. I'm trying to aim for 20,000 likes on this. I've never posted a video or a story time on this channel before, so I don't know how many likes we can pull. But the goal is to try and pull 20,000 likes for the next story. Like I said at the beginning of the channel, I have two goals with this channel. To do cool, dope story times. And then I have my other type of videos that you might have seen or you might not have seen. I don't know when I'm uploading what, right? But I have two main type of videos. And then another thing, the two main things that I'm shooting for is to make this content as family friendly as possible while still making it so that people that are older can enjoy it. But I'm not cursing. You'll never hear me curse on this channel. I almost might have did it like once or twice in this video, but you'll never hear me curse on this channel. I'm trying to make this content as family friendly for everyone who's watching as possible, right? And I also am only giving off the best possible energy I can. So if I'm not in a good mood, I won't upload on this channel. I'm only posting videos when I have the best possible energy I can, so that way I can let that come out of me and flow into y'all like I hopefully did today. So that's gonna do it for this video. Like I said, slap a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. I can't wait to do the next story time with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If everything goes well and this channel does good, we can make these story times even more in depth. We can get some different camera angles going. Maybe have some people that you guys really like come in and do stories as well. Whatever type of content, oh, the sky is the limit. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a blessed day, a blessed week. And like I said, man, sometimes the worst thing that happened to you, man, can turn out being the best thing that ever happened to you, man. And that's really what happened with me. So I'm just super thankful for God, super thankful for YouTube, and all of you guys that are watching this that continue to make all of my dreams and stuff come true. So yeah, man, I'm out of here. You guys take it easy. I love y'all. I have to figure out what I want to call these. I'm leaning towards Clark Chronicles. Let's see. I have a whole list here before I go. I have a whole list here. Clark Chronicles, Clark Classics, Clark Tales, Life of Clark, Clark's Life, The Chronicles of Clarknia. I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think I should call it. But yeah, man, I've done enough talking. I'm out of here. Peace. Oh, man. Woo! Did I get everything? I think that's everything.
Hey, Patrick,
What?
I thought of something funnier than 24.
Let me hear it.
Overside.